Tony Khan, he loves his wee best friend, little midget man, Daniel Bryan. Welcome back to Fog Wrestling. Tony Khan was doing an interview, he was sitting down in the blandest looking hotel room I've ever seen, and the topic switched to Daniel Bryan. Big Daniel Bryan. And what did they have to say regarding Big Daniel Bryan, I hear you ask? Well, let me tell you something, brother. Alright, Big Daniel Bryan, he was talking about him. He said how he's the cornerstone of AEW. AEW and him, he fits like a glove. You know the old expression, Daniel Bryan fits like a glove. And he's like, as long as things are good and Daniel Bryan's here, AEW's going to be in a good place, all that sort of talk. But the problem is, with Daniel Bryan, I mean, the guy is probably one more manoeuvre away from a disaster, you know. I mean, and it's a sad reality. Daniel Bryan, you know, I've never been the biggest Daniel Bryan fan, but regardless of I'm a fan of you or not, I don't like to see anybody go through paralysis, and obviously this guy's had his history of neck injuries. Same with Edge, and seeing Edge doing that dive didn't really sit right with me, being honest. You know, you can do a dive, but landing on both your legs and breaking one of them, that's not for Big Stevie Cool, that's for sure. So, is what it is at the end of the day. But anyway, we move on. I digress, folks. I digress. Funny enough, but then Tony Khan said something rather interesting. Now, we've always wondered potentially what way Tony Khan swings, but maybe the next quote opens a wee bit more up on that, because, and I quote, Tony Khan said he would literally do anything for Daniel Bryan. I would bend over backwards for Bryan Danielson. Right, okay, let's dissect this, shall we? So, I would literally bend over backwards for Daniel Bryanson, or Bryan Danielson, or Daniel Bryan, whatever, man. We all know who we're talking about, that jobber kid from Seattle, Washington, damn it. He's a bit of a jobber, isn't he? El Daniel. Is what it is. Bit of a jobber, but still does the best numbers in AEW. So, you know, obviously people make fun of Tony Khan's like, Tony, so you're finally at the closet sort of thing. He likes the Soprano references. Could he turn into Fito from the Sopranos? Johnny Cakes, Bryan Cakes, Danielson Cakes. You know, he could be into those sort of cakes, you know. He could be into duck, he could be into lamb. We're not too sure, but it's just a weird terminology to use, I think. You know, Vince McMahon had his guys, you know, The Undertaker, damn it. If McMahon was doing an interview, he wouldn't say, I would bend over for the dead man. You know, you just wouldn't say that. You know, Vince would be like, I'd do anything for The Undertaker, the dead man. He's been my boy for 30 years. I love him. You know, I just couldn't imagine Vince McMahon using the terminology. I would love to bend over in front of the dead man. I'd bend over for and do anything for the guy. Hell, I'd shit on his Johnny Cakes if I wanted. And Triple H, you know, we've buried Triple H quite a lot recently. You know, it seems like Triple H has bent over and just took a shite on the product, even though people want to defend it. You know, both companies are mince. AEW is like retarded, while WWE is like just boring as fuck. So yeah, I mean, I think it was just weird terminology for that Tony Khan to use. You guys can leave your thoughts down below about it. Do you think it was the right terminology? I mean, it's just a bit, I don't know, it just sums up Tony Khan. He doesn't seem like their boss. He just seems like the child that's been visited on his deathbed by the Avengers, and he's getting like every final wish coming through. That's what I mean. You see the way he hugs these guys. You know, this is a 40-odd-year-old man. And he gets on like a 12-year-old. And even that, I think, is doing a disservice to 12-year-olds. I think there's more 12-year-olds out there that, you know, can act more mature than this guy. Which is kind of funny, but at the same time, kind of sad, summing up the life of Tony Khan, to be fair. But yeah, you know, it doesn't surprise me him coming out in comments like this. We've seen him the way he gets on around these wrestlers, hugs them. You know, like a child hugging their superhero, their hero. A child hugging their father, damn it. But anyway, guys, leave your thoughts down below. That's going to do it here for Big Stevie Cool 1872, talking on Fog Wrestling. It is what it is, so leave your thoughts down below. Interesting enough, but what do you guys think about Tony? Oh, hey, Tony Khan, swing.